Shanks. Yep, remember from our last video, we stated that Shanks is the hero that helped capture Loki, who killed King Herald and then claimed Elbaf as his territory, where with the backing of a Yonko would keep any enemies at bay. And Shanks, being the way he is, the locals love him. In fact, this relationship that he develops with the people of Elbaf is somewhat similar to that of Fuchsia Village, where I would even go far to say there are some parallels. Shanks pushed Luffy into becoming a pirate, but it wasn't just his own aura that inspired him. Rather, it was the legend of Gol D Roger leaving his treasure behind, the One Piece. Likewise, in Koyon's case, Shanks literally did it again, but this time instead of Roger, it's the story of Luffy. Remember, Shanks even informed Mihawk, Whitebeard, and possibly the Gorosei. He isn't shy about bragging that he lost his arms all for Luffy's sake. Shanks put a huge bet, believing Luffy will surpass him and the likes of his former captain, which is something Roger himself prophesied in chapter 968 in front of his crew before dissolving it. And so the amount of respect and belief he has for Luffy is like no other, hence why he told Koyon to remember Luffy's name. But another huge takeaway from this is Shanks now officially recognizes Luffy as an immovable force that will change the world forever. This reinforces ours and the Balls Deep community's theory that Shanks knew what would happen after Luffy ate the Sun God Nika fruit. He knew everything. Now, a couple of years ago, when we predicted Luffy had to be Joy Boy, it was due to us deciphering the Sea King's prophecy Roger overheard in chapter 968. The timeline about the two sovereigns meeting, being Shirahoshi and Luffy, was spot on, and the line about the whales waiting in anticipation sealed the deal. You know, because right after the meeting had occurred, when Luffy ascends out of Fishman Island, we see the whales dancing in joy. Now, obviously, it was pretty easy putting 2 and 2 together 3 years ago, as, you know, the Fishman arc was just finished and the events already happened. But in Shanks' case, he didn't know. All he knew was the approximate time frame for Joy Boy's return. Shanks also wasn't present with the others in Laugh Tale, as he stayed behind to look after Buggy. So all the information he gathered was from his crew and the events that happened later on. But what if there was a certain person that guided him through his journey? The obvious answer would be Rayleigh, but you know, he was busy, with Shaki, shacking it up. Plus, he did his fair share by training Luffy, so the more likely candidate that guided Shanks had to be Scopper Gaban. Remember, he was pretty close to the kids in Roger's ship, and out of everyone, Oda depicted him going with the boys to Mocktown for supplies showcasing their relationship. So here's the theory. Gaban told Shanks exactly what they saw in Laugh Tale. And remember the moment that Roger told Shanks something in secret which made him cry? It could have been how they found Shanks as a baby, his mother, his father, and a sweet goodbye. But with that, Roger could have given him a task, taking the role as a mediator to fulfill his captain's final wish and pass on Joy Boy's will, which was said to be encapsulated in the Nika fruit. After some planning, this led him to targeting the CP0 ship because he very well knew what it was. It's highly likely that Shanks' original plan was to find Roger's son, Ace, and feed him the fruit, as we know that Roger nonchalantly believed that Ace would be the one to inherit his will, find the One Piece, and change the world since they were just too early. I mean, what other reason would Shanks have to come to Fuchsia Village in the first place? Other than Ben Beckman and Yossup, Shanks doesn't really have anything to do with the East Blue. Unfortunately for this plan, the fruit has a will of its own and ends up choosing Luffy instead. But after seeing how similar Luffy is to Roger, he understood that fate has its own hands to play. Which brings us to why 6 years ago he went to Elbaf, beating Loki and claiming it as his territory. It was to meet Scopper Gaban, who had secured the final poneglyph left in Fishman Island and used Elbaf as a place of security. If you guys want more peak fiction and breakdowns, then make sure to smash the like button and check out this video next.